Dr. Krishna Kumar, who was my principal at Elite School and who is an alumnus of Elite School of Optometry in Shankanepalaya. Currently, he is a freelance optometrist and he also does free doorstep eye care, geriatric eye care services. Here, he's going to talk about opportunities in occupational optometry, geriatric eye care, which is a new field or upcoming field in the care in the optometry field. So he has shared his recordings. Let me put it up.
But KK sir is also here with us. If you have any questions, please post them.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. It gives me immense pleasure to be part of this Aspire program organized by Acchutha Institute of Optometry. We all know that optometry is a profession which gives immense satisfaction at the end of the day. The prime reason for that is we offer eye care services, vision care services to the people to ensure their enhanced quality of life. There are variety of eye care services as an optometrist we can offer. From simple promotional activity, bringing in awareness about the need for preventive care, need for yearly eye checkup, need for controlling myopia, the need for regular eye checkup for people with diabetes, the need for rehabilitation measures when there is no treatments available for some of the conditions. There are many promotive eye care services that we can be part of it and involve ourselves to bring in an awareness. Please keep in mind the money we spend for preventive care and promotive care will be far less than curative care. So in that sense, as a primary eye health care professionals, we should be very proud that we are the starting point of ensuring the prevention or the occurrence of the condition itself. We also play tertiary care services in the care of vision care specializations. We also can play a huge role in rehabilitation measures, especially related to eye. Today, I'm here to talk about a very interesting, though I don't claim it to be a new initiative, a new expansion for an optometrist, but still it is in a relative term in the infant stage. But there is a huge scope keeping in mind the vulnerable group as well as the numbers which is going to increase in that vulnerable group. For example, if you can look at one of the key areas which I want to share with you as a possible and needed expansion of a role of an optometrist, we call it as occupational optometry services. To keep things easier for us understanding, though we have heard about people who are specializing in contact lens care, people who are specializing in dispensing optics, specializing in primary community eye care services, low vision care services. Have you heard about service to a very important vulnerable group called workers? The reason is we try to offer services at our centers, whether it is hospitals or optometry clinics or optical services, from the perspective of identifying the disease only and ensuring, therefore, either within our purview, the management, or referring them to the appropriate people. But keep in mind, if you take different types of occupations, today the International Standard Classification of Occupation broadly classify occupation into 10 categories, and under which there is sub-major groups, a major group, sub-major group, and subcategories, as well as the final units. The totally almost 436 occupations have been identified based on International Standard Classification of Occupation. Now, if you look closely into each of it from the perspective of the visual demand and hazards for these individuals, we realize there is a huge area lying vacant in terms of offering the service from the perspective of matching a man to work and work to man. So in this case, we have to match visual demand and the visual capability of the individual. So in that perspective, this profession called occupational optometry is one of the extension of optometrist's role, expanded role, is to ensure matching the visual demand at work and the visual capability of an individual. Of course, the second role as a primary eye care person, to do a comprehensive examination to pick up the condition based on the age. But in addition to that, depending upon the occupation, the occupational related disease or occupational disease can be picked up. For example, if you say someone is working in welding, we expect them to have photokeratitis. Someone who has exposure to various radiation, they get cataract. Someone who is exposed to some of these solvents, they exposed to some of the conditions, neurotoxic effect, which can be manifested by color vision also. So the third aspect which the occupational optometry services take care is the safety, especially eye safety measure. So keeping these three key points in nature, you can take up a specialization called occupational optometry, which has got a huge scope, keeping in mind India is a home of almost 70 to 80 crores of people working in different occupations, and each of the occupation will create a different kinds of demand, and each of these occupation will lead to different kinds of occupational related diseases. There is a huge responsibility we can take up under this purview of occupational optometry. Dear friends, there is another profession I strongly feel, which again is gaining its momentum in various medical and healthcare profession. Eye care is also catching up well in this area. We all know the elder population is in the increasing trend. To the extent 2020 has seen a great shift, wherein less than 5 years of old is actually in relative term compared to 60 year and more or less. Otherwise, people with 60 and plus, keeping in mind prone for various comorbidities, prone for visual impairment, prone for non-communicable lifestyle diseases. We all know that associated ocular conditions is very high. Therefore, there is another speciality which I strongly feel that as an optometrist we should be prepared enough. By 2030, please remember, we are going to hold every fifth person to be 60 plus and offering the service in a unique way, such a way that, for example, going to their doorstep and going to do facilitate the teleconsultation, to offer rehabilitation measures at the doorstep, or the areas which I strongly feel is the future direction. Optometrists can expand themselves, facilitating and ensuring eye care for these vulnerable population. So once again, I reiterate, please prepare yourself, train yourself in these two areas which I see as the future for optometrists, especially occupational optometry services and geriatric eye care services. In terms of opportunities to offer these services, today eye hospitals are coming up, optical services and individual optometric clinic is trying to venture into these areas. With my experience individually as an independent practitioner, as well as part of initiative with in collaboration with the eye hospital, I see there is a huge responsibility lying in front and huge gap existing to be filled by none other than optometrists in this part of the country. So dear friends, for any other queries to venture into occupational optometry services and geriatric eye care services, I will be very happy to offer my guidance and the direction towards a successful optometrist for these vulnerable. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, KK, for being part of this initiative. KK, one question what is in the minds of most of the students is, how do we get more experience in occupational optometry services? Is there any particular, so there is a question here which says, is there any particular fellowship or is there any sort of classes that we have to take or a qualification we have to take to do occupational optometry services?
I think, thank you, Saranya ma'am and Gopi ji. Thank you for the opportunity. Yes, actually, see, it is only an application because optometry is an applied science. In that, actually, whatever you learned the fundamentals of optometry as a primary eye care person with some understanding of the various occupation. I think a large extent, we don't know what is the environment in which a person works, depending upon the occupation, or what are the hazards on which he work, what is the visual demand. I think the key factor is, even before you offer the eye care services like primary eye examination, if you have an understanding of each of these occupations and then offer the service, then it will be fine. So I think it is a lot extent, it is a logic. A lot of time we don't put effort to understand the occupation, because we sit in the clinic and we expect people to come and by their definition of their occupation, we try to offer the service. I think so. If you put some effort from your own side, for example, the simple first step that I always advise for people who wants to venture into occupational optometry is to get into these international standard classification of occupation document. At the end of the document, for all 436 occupation, they have given the job description. That means you by that, you know what are the tasks each individual who is involved in that occupation is doing. The second is, once you've decided which occupation you're going to deal with, go to the respective industry wherein they make it. Suppose if you're going to work with an organized sector, most of the industry has got its own website with a lot more details. So from there, you know what are the products which they are doing and what is the process, which will be available in a lot of the if you serve, you will get a lot of things. At the end, you can come to some of the literature search in relation to eye. That is the usual approach, which I feel is very successful, because you don't have a single book where you can get all these information. Okay, coming back to the main question which Saranya ma'am was asking, is there anything? I think at present, Elite School of Optometry have initiated a fellowship program wherein it's an integrated program for community and occupational optometry. For the details, I think you can approach Elite School of Optometry. Dr. Rashima, who is at present heading the occupational optometry services, will be very happy to inform. You can directly contact the Elite School of Optometry administrative office. You can get it. To best of my knowledge, is there any other place they are offering a residency program like this? I don't think anywhere else as of now. Suppose if it's not practical for you to take time out and then do these things, always you can interact with people who are involved in this. You can always have an open mind. You can write to people like me. I can definitely help you out, trying to tell you how to go about, because at the end it is only the logical understanding of each occupation and the demand and offering the service matching with the need. That is how I try to see. Maybe some understanding of safety wear and other things which already we would have learned. It's an opportunity for us to apply those things. Hope I've answered.
I think so, KK. I think so. Thank you so much for joining us. If you can just stay on for a little longer, because I think
I am in one of the old age homes.
Okay. So
what I do is I will mute and keep, and whenever you.
I have a question for you. Then maybe we can.
Yeah, I'll be happy to.
All right.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity.
So that's a sign of what occupational optometry you can do as well. So sir is actually doing the screening as well as talking to us. So thank you so much, KK. Thank you so much for joining us.